The manhua opens in a dimly lit sitting room. The glow from a phone screen casts a soft light on our girl Gu Mang, who is completely engrossed in a movie. This is her escape, her one true hobby. No matter how chaotic life gets, she always finds comfort in these quiet moments, absorbed in a world far away from her own. But her peace doesn't last long. The door swings open with force and a loud, angry voice shatters the silence. It's her uncle, Lei Xiao, storming into the room. He reminds her of the past, of the day her parents died. She didn't even shed a tear. Not a single one. And if she didn't cry for them, then she shouldn't be here now. Standing beside him is Gu Yin. She doesn't defend her, not really. She simply states her observation, that our girl isn't a bad person, just cold-blooded. Turns his glare back to Gu Mang, his tone unwavering as he delivers his final verdict. Take your brother and leave. He makes it clear. Everything that once belonged to the Gu family now belongs to his sister. Gu Mang has nothing here. But Gu Mang, she doesn't flinch. Not even a little. Our girl stands up and asks Gu Yin what she has to say about it. She replies that that's what was written in the will, so she can only accept it. She tells her that if she wants to stay a few more days with her brother, Gu SC, she should ask their uncle. Our girl tells her that there's no need for that. Holding Gu Yin, her uncle tells her that there's no need to talk with her. That very soon, the only people she would be interacting with are people of high class, and not lowly people like our girl. She replies that she knows about that he shouldn't worry himself. Our girl looks at them and accuses her sister of acting as if she loves her. This pisses her sister off. Our girl continues, telling her that when their parents were still alive, they never saw her as very strong. And after their death, she didn't seem very saddened. She adds that they left the inheritance for her because of her weakness. Walking away, she tells her sister that she won't be bothered about taking care of her now, that she is on her own. Gu Yin feels our girl is just showing up. She feels that our girl would be stuck struggling while she would be at the top. A few hours later, our girl can be seen walking into Ming City Imperial Palace with her kid brother, Gu Sai. He comments that in as much as the building is Ming City's most popular event center, it looks pretty average. Just at the door, a rude girl asks them who they are and why they're here to pretend as if they are rich. Our girl's helper. She tells them that she was wondering who else had the money to compete with her, overpaying for everyone's drink. Little did she know that it is our girl's brother. She walks to him and asks him if he missed her. He says no. Our girl looks at her silently. She tells her to stop looking at her too provocatively. They're sitting, discussing. A young man walks in and sees our girl's brother. He tells his assistant that he is surprised to see such a little boy inside the place. The man apologizes and promises to increase the premise's security and also chase them out immediately. The man tells him to always keep that in mind. A servant approaches Lin and tells her that the auction for Sleeping Jade is about to begin. He asks her if she would love to go in there now. She tells him that she is the wrong person, that the person who really wants the Sleeping Jade is our girl. Our girl takes the invitation and heads upstairs into the inner area where the auction is to be done. The security that came to throw her out is confused. She has been invited to the inner area. There's no way they can chase her out. At the auction, the auctioneer begins the auction with 1 million. He tells everyone that the Sleeping Jade is so unique, that is why. The people began to bid one after the other. Then a young man bids the highest, 10 million. He is Chengzhou, the male lead. Everywhere was silent because that is the highest. No other person agreed to bid higher. The auctioneer is about to conclude the auction when our girl bids at 20 million. The male lead is surprised. Everyone in the room is surprised. They wonder who this girl is that dares to bid against the male lead. From the clothes she is wearing, they never thought she is from a rich family. Others are of the opinion that she is doing this on purpose so that she can get the male lead's attention and get married to a rich family and be on top of the world. The lady sitting beside our girl advises her to stop bidding higher, asking her if she knows who is up against. That he is Lu Cheng, the current leader of the Lu family who is on top of the pyramid. The name sounds familiar to our girl. The lady continues, telling her that maybe she might not have heard of the Lu family, but she should have heard of Lu Shang, the leader of Ming Cheng, that even him is respectful to the leader of the Lu family. Our girl is less concerned about all this story. Shouting out, she tells the auctioneer that if no one raises the bid, it's like Lin has been waiting for this moment, eager to get every detail. But before she can even respond, two guys walk past, deep in their own conversation. They're talking about what just went down, their voices just loud enough for her to hear. One of them says he heard that someone reckless, someone with no fear of death, actually tried to steal from the male lead. The other guy laughs and adds that he heard she's stunning, and maybe, just maybe, she isn't even after the property. Maybe all she really wants is him. She stops in her tracks. Seriously? That's what people think? Her mood sours instantly. She's not about to let that slide, but she leans in, nudging her. Wait, are they talking about the male lead? But our girl doesn't say a word. She just turns and walks away. Lin watches her go, shaking her head with a knowing smile. Wow. It's rare to see her taste defeat. Outside, our girl is walking home with her brother. 3 men stops them and try to harass her. At first, she tells them to move away, but they refused. She had no other choice but to beat them up. Before leaving, her younger brother taunts them. As she walks past a walkway, the male lead can see her from above. The other 2 guys who were talking before asks him if that's the girl that was bidding against him. The other one comments that she is so assertive, just as the male lead, so they would be a good match. He turns and looks at them. He asks them if they don't have anything to do. They apologize for meddling into his affairs. He tells them that there are kids around, so they should mind the way they talk. As one of them try to explain, he tells them to leave. The next day, our girl is seen in the street market purchasing some clothes. She picks a cloth and asks her brother if he likes it. He replies that if she likes it, he likes it. She tells him that he is going out to study, so he needs more clothes. He can't believe that she is sending him away. She tells her that he is too weak, so he needs to grow stronger. In that same market, in a car, the male is with 2 of his brothers in a car. The one behind the wheel asks him why he wants to come here, that this is the place where night market stalls are. The other comments, asking if the male lead wants to change his lifestyle by moving in the same route as normal people. The male lead, who has been sitting quietly behind, tells them to shut up. Suddenly, he sees our girl at a distance, paying for the clothes she bought. She tells the vendor that if he gives her discount, she would buy more. The vendor replies that the goods are already cheap, yet she still wants discount. The male recognizes her. He's happy that they meet again. His brother asks him if he is really looking at the goods in those stalls. The man comments that old Lu must be pranking him. Immediately, her brother asks if he is looking down on him because he is a child. Our girl cautions him, reminding him what she said to him earlier. He apologizes immediately and tells the officer that he would prove his strength and make him believe him. The older man comes forward and tells the officer not to underestimate the kid, that after some time he would be begging the kid to stay. The old man is Lu Shangjin. Our girl's brother pleads with her again to let him stay, that he can teach himself and he would grow up to protect her. She refuses, saying that it's dangerous to be with her. She promises that if he is able to beat the strongest person in the academy, she would come and carry him. He reluctantly accepts and promises to come back with a year. She tells him that she will wait. As they take her brother away, the officer assures her that she shouldn't worry about him, that he has already given report about her brother. She replies that she is not worried, that she knows her brother's potential, because as siblings, they share the same blood. At that moment, the old man's phone rings. It's an encrypted number from the capital. He picks up the call and tells the person on the other line that he is coming immediately. He tries to explain to our girl, but she cuts her short, saying that she would go with him. They enter the car and he makes a call, telling someone to send a private jet to him, that his mother is very ill. They're transported by the jet and get to the capital within minutes. As they alight, the man shares his fear about the recovery of his mother. Our girl tells him not to worry, that even if the person is in her last breath, she will be able to save her. A car pulls up in front of them. The person behind the wheel is none other than the male lead. He tells his uncle to enter inside. His uncle is surprised, asking him why he decided to pick him up personally. He replies that he just entered the capital also. Our girl recognizes his face. His uncle calls her, telling her to enter inside too. Then the male lead captures her name. Calling her name, he tells her that they meet again. He asks his uncle about the doctor he was supposed to bring. He doesn't want to think that it's our girl he was referring to. Our girl enters the car and tells him that he talks a lot. He can't believe his ears. His uncle asks him how his grandmother is. He replies that a military doctor is treating her, but her condition is still not good. His uncle tells him that her health was getting better some data ago, so he wonders why it became bad again. The male lead replies that he doesn't know why. His mind is far away, thinking about our girl. His sixth uncle, who always looks low of others, thinks so highly of our girl. He is surprised. He wonders what kind of person our girl is. He also wonders why she is so cold towards him. Meanwhile, our girl, who is sitting next to him, wonders why he is staring at her like that. Anyway, she won't see him again after repaying Uncle Lu's favor. The driver on the hand feels that if our girl can make the male lead so distracted, that means she has a lot of potential. He feels she seems like that perfect match for the male lead too. At the Lu's residence, they arrive and his uncle tells him to take our girl inside, that he would wait outside for them. The male lead suggests that they go in together. They haven't gone back for 20 years, and also his grandmother wants to see him. His uncle agrees. Inside, they're taken to the room where his grandma is kept. There's some doctors there. One of them suggests that they must perform a surgery to remove the blood clot in her brain, or else it would get dangerous. Another doctor comments that the lady is too old to withstand that operation. The first doctor still insists that there are a couple of doctors that can perform the operation with a 10% success rate. But if they don't conduct the operation, her grandmother won't survive the night. She is Lu Shiweo, Lu's family's second daughter. An elderly doctor says it might be possible. He urges Miss Lu to lead the operation. Others there also agree. Miss Lu was named by medical organizations as the youngest expert neurologist. Suddenly, our girl speaks. He asks the doctor if she wants to carry out a surgery on a patient that has such a critical condition. She adds that the patient would die on the operating table. The girl turns and asks her who she is that she can tell her what to do. Looking at our girl, she notices that she doesn't even wear luxury clothes. She wonders who she thinks she is to criticize her medical knowledge. Our girl ignores her. She goes closer to the bed and observes the old lady. Miss Lu tries to stop her, but she ignores her again. She blurts out 2 days. The male lead asks if his grandma would recover in 2 days. He is surprised. She has been sick for about a year. All the best medical experts have seen her, but they all said they can barely control the disease. Our girl continues, saying in 1 hour she would be able to restore the old woman's consciousness, and in 2 days she would recover fully. Miss Lu is happy to see the male lead. It's been a while. She turns to our girl and asks her what she just said now. She tells her that a surgery takes more than an hour, that she wonders what method she intends to use to cure her grandmother. Our girl replies her, acupuncture. The male lead observes that they haven't tried the Chinese medicine before. He is beginning to get convinced. Miss Lu tries to convince the male lead. She tells him that acupuncture is scam and isn't based on anything. She adds that our girl is taking their grandmother's life as a joke. The elderly doctor tells our girl that it's good she learnt a little bit of traditional Chinese medicine, but they are outdated and not in use in the world anymore. One of the young doctors claimed that he only knows about the best neurologist, who is Miss Lu. He has never heard of any other person. The other replies that our girl just wants to make herself stand out by using the Lu family. The male lead's uncle approaches him and asks him to give our girl an hour, that it won't even take long as a surgery. He adds that No has better medical skills than our girl. The male lead orders his assistant to arrange a room for our girl, adding that she would be staying here for 2 days. Miss Lu tries to talk her brother out of it, but he doesn't listen. He tells her not to blame others because she doesn't have the skills. Our girl gets ready for the job. She brings out her tools. The male lead begs his grandmother to trust our girl. Our girl brings out syringes and begin to remove blood. Lead approaches her and commends her for her hard work. She tells him that there's no need to thank her. She announces that she is tired and she needs rest. He tells her that his assistant is outside, that he would show her her room. She doesn't like the way he addresses her, as if she is taking his order. She is just here to help Uncle Lou and not take orders from the male lead. As she walks away, the male lead safely wraps the syringe he took from Miss Lou's hand in his handkerchief. Our girl walks out of the room. She can't find anyone there. Then she sees Miss Lou walking towards her with two men. She quickly reads the situation. Miss Lou shows the men our girl. She tells our girl that she is bluffing, for her to say that her grandmother would wake up in 2 days. Our girl asks her if she is a hen. She asks if she needs more needles on her body. Miss Lou gets more angry and orders the men to attack our girl. As they're about to attack her, the male lead walks in and asks what they are doing. He asks if they want to disgrace the name of their family in the presence of grandmother. Miss Lou is surprised that her brother is here. He announces to them that grandmother really woke up. They're all inside the room. The male lead comments that our girl has special medical knowledge. Our girl replies that it is already known to people. He looks at her. He feels she is cute. Our girl writes a prescription for him to give her. She announces that she have other things to do, so she would leave. As she is about to leave, the male lead asks her when the next acupuncture session would be. Our girl replies that there won't be another one, that they should give her the medications and she will be okay in a week. His uncle is not happy that she is leaving. She had agreed to stay earlier, but the family caused this. She walks away. The male lead asks his uncle where he found her. He tells him that she is just a friend he knows who is really good at acupuncture. He decides to head back to Ming City since grandmother is fine now. Our girl is seen on the road. She is on a call. The person on the other end complains that she usually declines all his attempt to video call her. He wonders how bad she looks like. She tells him that she is going to hang up the call if he doesn't go ahead. He begs her not to hang up. The person on the other end is young man. He grumbles about not knowing the real boss now for 8 years. His name is Yun Lin, a top leader of Shadow Alliance, a senior hacker and diplomatic figurehead. He complains that the boss disguises her voice. He doesn't even know if it's a male or female. It just struck him now. The Shadow Alliance have already been open for 8 years now. 8 years ago, White Fox founded the Shadow Alliance and completed half of the internationally ranked #1 so-called impossible mission and became famous. In just half a year, the Shadow Alliance surpassed the 3 major international hacker organizations to become the world's leading hacker union. Countless hackers have tried to crack White Fox personal information, but all had failed to succeed. Even after numerous top hackers emerged, White Fox still remains the undisputed king of the hacker world, with no one able to shake their position to date. Our girl asks him if he has anything else to say. He tells her that he has transferred the money for the last assignment to her account. He tells her that there's another job to find someone, and the client is offering $1 billion. He asks her if she would do it because she has been short of cash lately. She asks him who the person she is to find is. He tells her that the person is a genius doctor who appeared in the Middle East 2 years ago. That the person's acupuncture skills is miraculous. He has a short hair and it could be a man. Our girl asks him who the client is, and he tells her that it's the male lead from the capital. She asks how many sites the task have been posted on. He tells her that it's 3, including the Shadow Alliance. He asks her if she intends to take it. She says no. Ending the call, she stops a cab and tells the driver that she is going to the northern suburbs, precisely the sanatorium. She arrives her destination and walks into a compound. As she's about entering, a robot welcomes her and informs her that the host is watering plants in the garden. It gives her direction. She goes to the garden and sees the host. Meng Jinyang, she is our girl's friend. Jinyang is happy that our girl came to see her. They enter inside and Jinyang offers her food. As our girl eats it, she notices the liveliness of her friend. It's been a long time she saw her like that. Looks like she is recovering well. She notices that her friend is itching to say something. She tells her to say it. She tells our girl that she is okay now. She wants to go out and make money with her. She continues saying she can't always stay there, that she heard the fees for recuperation is very expensive. Our girl tells her that she is not even of age, that there's no way she would make money. Her friend reminds her that she is not of age also. She replies that she can fight. Her friend is surprised. She asks her if she fights for money. She's afraid that she will get hurt. Our girl tells her that she have learnt some computer skills, so she makes small software to earn money. She assures her not to worry, that she doesn't fight, but she only hits people. Her friend looks at her. She believes her. Our girl at the age of 5 could carry a brick and smash someone. No one can indeed hurt her. As long as she is not worried, then she is fine. Our girl is not the type to stir up trouble herself, only if others provoke her first, and if they do this, then they deserve to be hit. Our girl asks her why she doesn't want to stay here, that it is quite nice. Her friend tells her that she could probably find a part-time job because our girl hired a lot of teachers to educate her. She wants to earn money. She doesn't want to be a burden anymore. Our girl asks her if she really wants to make money. She says yes. Our girl tells her that she will find a school for her to go, and after she graduates, she will be able to earn more. She continues, saying that she should consider the tuition fee a loan from her that she will pay back when she starts making money. Her friend asks about her. She replies that she will rent a place close to her school. Her friend suggests that they go to school together, that they should both take the entrance examination. At Ming City, our girl is with her friend, Jinyang, in a restaurant. They're here to meet with Uncle Lu. The man meets them there and asks her what her emergency is, saying that she sounded very urgent. She tells him to get her a spot at a school, 2 slots for her and her friend. The man is surprised. He asks if she really wants to go to school. She says yes, asking if there's anything wrong with that. Jinyang, who is sitting silently beside our girl, wonders why people are giving her that kind of attitude, because she said she wants to go to school. She now knows why. Our girl didn't want to go to school earlier. The man smiles and replies that it is not wrong, that it only feels unbelievable. He is considering her past achievements. He is just worried that she might blow up the school if she gets annoyed. She tells him to go and arrange the spot. He agrees to do so on the condition that she should follow a rule. He tells her that the rule is not to cause any trouble. He says it calmly. He doesn't want to annoy a big shot like our girl. She replies that she will be a good student. Inside him, he feels she shouldn't promise that as long as she doesn't hit anyone, she can do whatever she likes. He tells her they should choose City Ming Middle School, that Lu Yi and Lu Yang are there too. That means it would be convenient with the driver. Our girl tells him that she and her friend would board in school. She asks him to help transport her bike from another town for her. He promises to send someone to take care of that. Outside, Lu Yi is walking around with her friends. They're about to try the new restaurant that was just opened there. As they walk towards the restaurant, one of them sees her uncle coming out of it with our girl with him. She draws Lu Yi's attention to it. The other girl asks if the hour is her relative. She immediately replies that her dad has been working on a poverty alleviation project lately, so our girl is probably one of the students in the scheme. The first girl comments that from the look of our girl, she is probably a gangster. The other girl tells them that they should mind their business, that they have nothing to do with that kind of girl. Lu Yi watches as our girl and her friend enters a cab. Inside the cab, Jinyang asks our girl where they are headed. She replies that they're going to the place they'll be staying. She asks her if she has felt uncomfortable in any place since her surgery. Her friend replies no, that she feels great, adding that the artificial organ is more convenient than the colostomy bag, that she can use the bathroom normally now. Our girl's phone beeps. She just received a message from Lin Shang's. The message reads that she should be careful that all of the male lead's forces have a photo and are searching for the miracle doctor. Our girl is silent. She wants to see who would come out on top, she or the male lead. They get to the Wynn Palace. She tells the driver to stop and they alight. Her friend looks at the entrance. She have heard of this place before. Our girl tells her that they should go inside. She is surprised. She asks if this is the place they would stay. She tells her that she heard only children of high-ranking officials and top-tier celebrities, those who are incredibly rich or noble, are the ones who live here. The place is also super expensive. She offers that they stay in a recently purchased property in another side of the city instead. Our girl tells her not to worry, that it's a friend's place. They rented it to her at a friendly price. Jinyang feels that something isn't right somewhere. As they move ahead, a security stops them, asking them what they're doing here. He calls them lowlife, saying they shouldn't come and stay in the place. He looks at our girl. He sees her dressed like a beggar, yet she still comes here thinking because she is pretty, she can just walk in. Our girl silently removes an access card and shows it to him, asking if she can't really go in. Immediately he sees it. He apologizes to her, begging her to forgive him for being rude. That card is actually one of the only 2 black gold access cards in the whole of Seven Palace. As our girl walks past, she advises him to eat more so that his brain would function better. He agrees with her. She and friend walk side by side inside the compound. Later that night, our girl leaves her friend. She tells her that she wants to go and take of some business, so she shouldn't wait for her. Her friend tells her to come back early. Our girl stands at the balcony, dressed discreetly. It's dark everywhere. She is on call with Lin Shang, who tells her that they have found where the male lead keeps the photos and information about the divine doctor at the row's high end. That it's just a picture of the person's back. Most people would think the divine doctor is a man of the short hair. She asks our girl if she wants to take the risk and go and collect the picture. Our girl comments that the male lead is too cunning, so they have to be cautious. Jumping down from the balcony, she tells her to send her the layout and details of the security arrangement. Moments later, our girl gets to the location. She attacks the guards there and gains access to the building. She sees the picture. It's a picture of Gu Mang when she was 16. She feels it won't be easy for him to find that divine doctor. She destroys all the information related to the divine doctor. She walks away. Moments later, someone raises an alarm to the male lead that all the information they have about the divine doctor have been wiped out of the system. He is angry. His assistant takes the blame and decides that he will send someone to pursue immediately. The male lead tells him that there's no need for that. He adds that there is no other person that can hack into his system except White Fox. So that means the divine doctor must be with the Shadow Alliance. His assistant is surprised. The male lead tells him to keep raising the bounty for the Shadow Alliance to find the divine doctor. 200 million plus extra 100 million consultation fee. Meanwhile, our girl is seen on call with Yun Lin. He tells her about the increased bounty, asking her if she won't accept it. She refuses again. There's no way she would be able to look for herself. The male lead's assistant tells him that Shadow Alliance have rejected the offer again. He tells his assistant to forget it and focus on monitoring our girl's movement. The next day in school, our girl is with her friend and the principal of City Ming Middle School. Uncle Lu is there too, trying to find both of them spots. The principal tells Uncle Lu that it is hard to admit students from grade 12, that even if he were to do that, the pressure on the students would be immense. Looking at their files, the principal can't help but exclaim, he has never seen such a troublesome file. One didn't graduate from kindergarten, the other has a terrible record and scores 0 in every subject. He wonders how he is supposed to arrange this. He suggests that the 2 kids should get a test and they would be assigned based on their performance. Our girl tells him that there's no need for a test, that she would go to the worst class and her friend would go to the best class. Uncle Lu is surprised they're not in the same class. The principal agrees and announces that he will call the homeroom teacher for class 1 and class 20. The principal feels it is a good idea because Jin Yang seems obedient and it would be easy to arrange her in a class. Uncle Lu's mind goes far as he heard the class names. Lu Yang and Lu Yi are in those 2 classes. He doesn't want to meet with the two homeroom teachers because Lu Yang's grade is embarrassing. Immediately, he stands up and announces that he is leaving. He tells our girl that if she needs anything, she should call him. After a while, the two teachers walk into the office. The principal informs them that they have 2 transfer students for senior year, so they'd have to take 1 each. The 2 teachers takes their report and think about it. Shi-yan, the homeroom teacher of grade 12, class 20, feels that our girl must be extremely unlucky to perfectly avoid all the correct answers to every question. The other teacher, Songhua, immediately airs her opinion. She doesn't like the fact that the principal wants to assign a student with record full of zeros in all subjects, and the other didn't even graduate from kindergarten into the most senior class. She turns to her colleague, hoping for support. The principal tells her that he didn't expect her to use those kind of words as a teacher. He tells her that he believes in her educational level. That's why he wanted to entrust the student in her hand. The teacher is still adamant. She tells the principal not to sugarcoat it, adding that she won't accept any of them into her class. She tells him that Miss Shi's class would be more suitable for them, that people should go where they belong and shouldn't be squeezed into a suitable place. Miss Shi is silent. She knows that it's always like this. The problem students that others don't want are usually shoved into her class. Her class might not have the best grades, but they are all good kids and a little more individualistic. The principal tells them that Jinyang should join class 1 and our girl should join class 20. It's decided and no one can change it. He adds that they can switch places and Songhua would have to choose the one she wants. He asks Miss Shi if she has any objections. Miss Shi tells him not to worry, that she will work hard to get her student into a 3rd-tier university. Meanwhile, Jinyang, who is sitting behind with Harive. Our girl is not happy with the arrangement. She doesn't want to be separated from our girl, but she doesn't have a choice, and she also understands why it should be done that way. Our girl can't protect her forever, so she have to learn how to interact and deal with others on her own. Our girl, as if reading her mind, tells her that classes 1 and 20 aren't far apart, so she should find her when she needs her. The teacher of class 1 starts leaving, and Jinyang stands up to follow her. The teacher tells her that if she joins her class and her grades drag them down, she shouldn't expect her to be kind. She also adds that to ensure the quality of her classes, she won't have a seat for the next 2 weeks. She will receive lectures while standing. Our girl can't take this anymore. She tells them that Jinyang and her would be together in class 20. Everyone is surprised. Songhua isn't happy with that. She has eased up enough to accept Jinyang. She feels they should be grateful, that she's the one to be picky and not the other way around. The principal asks our girl if she is sure. Although Songhua words are harsh, it is undeniable that getting into class 1 is another way like having 1 foot in a top university. Our girl replies that she wants that. The principal accepts her wish. Songhua leaves the office angrily, calling them ungrateful and saying they would regret their decision. The principal entrusts both of them to Miss Shi. He tells her that she should arrange their accommodation and class matters as soon as possible. In her office, she tells them that although class 20 is not as good as class 1, they should be rest assured that she'll put in her best. She asks our girl how she got those bad grades. She notices that our girl is very beautiful. Our girl replies that while others take their exams, she sleeps through them. Miss Shi gives them half a day off for them to go and buy some clothes and daily necessities. She reminds them to come back to class in time in the afternoon. They thank her. They walk outside, waiting for a cab. Jinyang tells her that aside from clothes, they also need to get toiletries, skincare products. A car pulls up in front of them. The window opens and the male lead calls out to her. She notices that he is attractive. He also admires her. He asks them where they're going to, she tells him. He tells them to get in so that he will give them a ride. Jinyang tells our girl to go in first. She is a little bit scared of men. She notices it and feels she have to learn how to interact with men normally. Our girl tells her to go in first. As they enter, the male lead tells the driver where they're going. Inside, our girl is sitting beside the male lead. She is playing game. The male lead observes it and thinks that it is rare to see a girl so good in those kind of games. He feels it even suit her style. He asks her if she transferred here. She says yes. He tells her that she saved his grandmother the other day and refused to collect money. She asks him how much he wants to pay. He replies that they should be friends on WeChat first, then he will transfer the money. As they drive, the driver mistakenly steps on the brake pedal. This makes Jinyang to move forward and hit her head. The driver immediately apologizes, saying he didn't hit it well. The male lead tells him that if he can't handle the technique, he should get someone else. He apologizes again. The main truth behind him stepping on the brake pedal is because the male lead told Guoliglin, our girl, that he wants to be WeChatted. This shocked him. The male lead brings his phone closer and they connected. He sends her 200,000 immediately. She thanks him. The money is enough for Jinyang's high school and college. Scene shifts to the class where our girl would be. A student tells Lu Yang that they are about to have a new transfer student. His name is Ling Qian. He tells him that this morning, when he was climbing over the wall, he saw Miss Shi with two girls. One of them was very pretty. He continues, describing the girl's beauty. Lu Yang, who is resting on the desk, thinks the girl would be prettier than our girl. He feels our girl's face is truly a knockout. Her presence is even more intimidating than that of her own father. The girls can be seen walking towards the class with Miss Shi. She tells them that although her class isn't great in grades, the students there are still very friendly. She assures them not to worry about anything. As they get to the door, the students are making noise, talking about our girl and her friend. They don't want to believe that one of the transfer student is very beautiful. The teacher enters inside and everywhere becomes quiet. She tells them that she wants to introduce two new students who have transferred to their class. Jinyang enters first, and people feel that she looks beautiful, but not as beautiful as the boy had said earlier. Then our girl enters next, and everywhere becomes silent. They quickly agrees that she is very beautiful. Jinyang greets them and tells them her name. Our girl does the same. Lu Yang can't believe his ears. The teacher allocates a seat for Jinyang next to Juan in the middle of the third row. She allocates a seat behind for Pelishan. Our girl, since she is tall, she is to seat beside Lu Yang. As our girl walks to her seat, students began to talk. One comments that the school forum might soon explode because a while ago Gu Yin transferred here and almost threatened Lu Yi's status as the school flower. Now our girl has come her too. It's so thrilling. Another comments that our girl is clearly in a higher league. She has a strong presence, more like school tyrant. They wonder if she is going to have a fight with Lu Yang. Another notices that Lu Yang's eyes is practically glued to our girl, so something of sort won't happen, adding that he might even willingly step down from the tyrant throne. As they all sit, the teacher tells them that they would get to know the new students after the class. She tells them to bring out their chemistry papers that she handed to them yesterday. They want to go over a few example problems. Lu Yang tells our girl that he would lend her his own to have a look at it. She sees it empty of answers, and he tells her that he forgot to do it yesterday, that listening to the teacher is the same thing. That explanation is so pale. Ling Kane turns and asks Lu Yang's face why it's so red. He tells him to face his front. During lunchtime, students seen running in the walkway. It seems like they are rushing in order not to miss something. Gu Yin is in her class. She sees people running out. She wonders what is going on. Her friends tell her that class 20 got two new students. One of them, named Gu Mang, is very pretty, so everyone is going to see her. Another comments that there is no use of being pretty if she is in class 20. He adds that it means her grade are poor. Another tries to console her, telling her that their first monthly exam is coming up soon. Once she gets the first place, she will still be the school flower. Gu Yin is deep in thoughts. She wonders why. Our girl came to her school. She wonders how she got in. Maybe she begged her uncle. She tells her friends not to say such things, adding that their academics might be very good too. Meanwhile, Lu Yi is sitting on her own in the other side of the class. Her friend comes to her, telling her that there is new celebrity on the forum and someone has voted her for the new school beauty and left she and Gu Yin far behind. Showing her a picture, She asks if she knows who it is, that it is someone they have seen before. Her friend shows her a picture of Ling with our girl sitting with Lu Yang. She tells her friend that she never expected our girl to come to their school. Within her, she isn't surprised that our girl came to their school, but what is surprising her is that she ended up being Lu Yang's desk mate. She stands up and excuses herself to go make a call outside. If her mom finds out, hours later, Lu Yang's mother can be seen in the principal's office. She storms into the office asking if he arranged Thade. Our girl admission into the school. She also asks if he knows who she is sitting with. He tries to talk, but she cut him short. She tells him that she doesn't mind him placing our girl in the school, but she won't allow her to corrupt her son. That's the bottom line of her complaint. The principal tells her that corruption isn't necessary with her son. He adds that our girl isn't really a bad influence as she thinks. She tells him that she knows what our girl have done before. Fighting, causing trouble, skipping classes, and she have even been in a juvenile detention. The principal tells her that if she is not satisfied, she should tell her son to ask the teacher to change his seat. A voice answers at the door, saying he doesn't want to change. It's Lu Yang. He walks in fully, and his mother tells him that she is ready for argument. She passes him. Our girl's report for him to look at. He is impressed by the scores, even when she had 0. He feels she is more better than him. His mother tells him that our girl is not a good student, that he should stay away from her in the future. She adds that she doesn't expect him to be very intelligent, but he shouldn't disgrace their family. He tells his mother not to worry about anything, that he has his own plans. He continues, saying that he won't change seats, and she shouldn't go behind his back. He reminds her of his temper. Trying to calm down the situation, he tells her not to be angry so that she won't get old quickly. He holds her, taking her away. He suggests that they go get some late-night snacks. Somewhere in the city that night, our girl is with her helper, Lin. She is eating desserts with alcohol. Lin complains about her choice of food, but she brushes it aside, asking for the reason of their meeting. She asks her how the situation is, whether she needs her help. Lin tells her that if she can do it alone, she won't bother her, a grade 12 student. Our girl replies that it is good to know. She tells her that she has university exams to prepare for. Lin is in awe. The world's #1 hacker talks about university exams? She wonders what kind of dark joke it is. She tells our girl that she can't hack into Heaven's surveillance system, so she needs help. She adds that she will give her 10% after the job have been done. Our girl tells her that she would only do it if she is given 20%. Lin feels our girl is trying to make profit from a pretty dark situation. She accepts the proposal. At Heaven's building later that night, a bathroom is locked from inside. 2 girls who wants to use it wonders who on earth would lock a public bathroom. They quickly move away to use the next one. Inside the bathroom, our girl can be seen trying to hack into the Heaven's internal system. After a while, she successfully hacks into it and takes over the surveillance system. The man on duty wonders what is happening as all the cameras began to go dark. He feels there is an intrusion. He orders that it should be reported to the male lead immediately. Our girl receives a message from Lin approving the finishing of the job. She tells her they have to leave immediately. Our girl begins to walk away. The guards begin to search for the intruder. One of them sees her in front and commands her to stop. She stops, trying to remove her weapon. As she turns, she sees the male lead who recognizes her. As he calls her name, the guards asks him if she is his friend. He says yes. They immediately apologize to her. She tells them that it is okay. The male lead is seeing her off. He asks her what she is doing in the building so late. She replies that she came here to make money. He asks her if she is that short of cash. She is surprised that he doesn't know that she is short on cash. She can't believe that he wouldn't have checked into her background. He asks her if she didn't receive 200,000 earlier. She replies that she can't just sit and eat one's resources away. Getting to the road, he offers to give her ride. She tells him not to worry that her friend is coming to pick her up. A car pulls up in front of her, and she enters. She bids him farewell, and they drive off. As he walks back inside, his brother asks him why he is back so fast. The other one tells him that the deal with Shadow Alliance got messed up, and it was Ninetails who took the mission. Sitting down, the male lead tells them that Ninetails doesn't have the ability to hack into Heaven's surveillance system. The two brothers wonder if there is someone else helping Ninetails in secret. Who can that be? The legendary elusive White Fox. While driving, Lin asks our girl what is going on here between her and the male lead. Just now, the two of them were walking together so closely that it must be an affair. Our girl replies that she is a doctor, and he is a patient's family member. That is the kind of relationship they have. Lin tells her to be careful when she is dealing with him, that she is really afraid he would eat her up without leaving any bones behind. Our girl asks her if she doesn't know that she is best at outsmarting others. She tells her to relax, that she is very cautious around the male lead. Lin agrees and tells her that she would leave her to be. She tells her that she have met her targets for the year, so she will be going off to Europe for a long holiday. She tells our girl to keep being her tormented grade 12 student. The next day, our girl is in school, walking to her class. As she walks, there are a lot of students gossiping about her. She walks past two girls. One of them admires her beauty, wondering what grade she is. The other replies that she saw on the campus forum that our girl is a new transfer student in grade 12, class 20, that she arrived yesterday, and the campus beauty polls put her way ahead of Gu Yin and Lu Yi. She gets close to her class. Some group of boys are also talking about her. One of them wonders what use it is of being so pretty, yet being in the worst class of grade 12. Another comments that our girl has strong presence. She gets to the class and meets Jin Yang outside. She offers Zulist our girl breakfast. Our girl asks her if she has done her homework. Her friend replies that she wrote it with her left hand, that our girl's handwriting is so bad that it's almost the same as her left-handed writing, so one cannot tell the difference. Our girl playfully pats her head, saying that she is now mocking her. Jin Yang runs back inside the class. Our girl enters the class and goes to her seat. She sees a lot of papers on her desk. Lu Yang tells her that the papers must be the ones stuffed in during the second period of last night's study session. She disposes them in the trash and wanted to take it out, but he stops her, saying he would go on her behalf. Kane is surprised that he actually offered to take out the trash. She wonders if their class tyrant is about to be replaced. As our girl seats down silently, two boys talk about her. Someone had posted her picture to the campus beauty voting thread, and her votes surged again. That surely means she has to clear her desk every day. She brings out her phone and begins to operate it. Moments later, one of her classmates announces that the thread for the campus beauty poll for cancers, our girl, has been deleted. Everyone is surprised. They ask the vice moderator. He said he didn't delete it. Neither the student union nor the school intervened. No one knows how the picture disappeared. And their school forum doesn't allow screenshots or saving. Now all the campus beauty photos are gone. That means there would be more people coming to their classroom to see our girl in person. Scene shifts to grade 12, class 1. Their homeroom teacher is talking angrily to her students. She is angry that her students run to class 20 every time. She wonders if they have so much time on their hands like that. She asks them if there is little homework, or the test papers she gave weren't enough. She reminds them that this weekend is the first monthly test for grade 12. She asks them if they want to be surpassed by class 12 and make her die in anger. She continues, asking them if they know the meaning of all glitter and no substance. She asks them if it is a student with 0 is all her subject, and who was expelled from her former school is who they want to go and see. She tells them that the first monthly exam is a competition for the entire grade 12, and whoever ranks first must come from her class. She continues, telling them that from today, she would add an extra set of exercises for each subject and extend evening self-study by 1 hour. She threatens them to see what would happen if they don't secure the first position. During lunchtime, Lu Yang is walking outside with Chan, lost in thought. Out of nowhere, he turns to Chan and asks what girls like to eat. Chan raises an eyebrow, immediately suspicious. He grins and asks if Lu Yang is planning to buy something for our girl. Lu Yang scoffs. acting all cool, and tells him to mind his own business. No need to be so nosy. But Qian, being the little troublemaker he is, doesn't let it slide. He smirks and tells Lu Yang that if he's going to be that aggressive, then nope, he's not spilling the secret of what our girl likes to eat. As they go back and forth, two girls walk past them, chatting loudly. They're talking about our girl. Their voices are full of excitement, and it doesn't take long for Lu Yang to catch what they're saying. Apparently, Ms. Luo Songhua has been running her mouth, saying all kinds of ridiculous things about our girl. Lu Yang's expression darkens instantly. His relaxed attitude is gone, replaced by something sharp and dangerous. He doesn't say a word at first, but his jaw clenches and his hands curl into fists. Then he turns to Qian and asks where the teacher's office is. Qian, sensing trouble, hesitates before answering. He tells him that Ms. Luo Songhua shares the office with Miss Shi. Before Qian can say anything else, Lu Yang is already storming off. His whole vibe screams, "I'm about to handle this." Qian panics and rushes after him, pleading for him to calm down. He knows Lu Yang can be impulsive, and this situation is not looking good. But Lu Yang is furious. He can't believe that a teacher, an actual teacher, would dare to bully our girl. He's not about to let that slide. Lu Yang kicks the door aggressively, startling the teachers seated inside. They stare at him in sheer shock, wondering why he barged in like that. But Lu Yang isn't in the mood to explain. Qian, panting at the door, realizes he's too late to stop him. Now he needs to hurry and find Miss Shi and Gu Mang. With his hands tucked in his pockets, Lu Yang demands to know if Miss Luo is the one spreading rumors about Gu Mang. She scoffs, asking if he's standing up for Gu Mang and whether he has a problem. She tells him that students should act like students and questions if Miss Shi hasn't taught him about respect. But Lu Yang isn't backing down. He points at her, questioning what kind of teacher she is and telling her to reflect on her behavior. He declares that Class 20 won't be lectured by her anymore. Miss Luo suddenly jumps up, furious. She yells at him to speak with respect, accusing him of thinking he can do whatever he wants just because his father is a bureau chief. She asks if there's any student who hasn't received criticism from a teacher. Lu Yang leans forward, demanding to know what Gu Mang's score has to do with her. He challenges her, asking if a student in Class 20 isn't as good as one in Class 1. Does that mean they deserve to be ridiculed? He questions if she even knows the full story of Gu Mang's past. Miss Luo grits her teeth in silence, her face purple with anger. Lu Yang crosses his arms, warning her that if she doesn't apologize to Gu Mang today, this won't be over. Miss Luo finally snaps. She points at him, shouting that he's defying her and ordering him to leave or face the consequences. Lu Yang, just as enraged, yells back, daring her to try something. He tells her she's been arrogant for too long. Just then, Gu Mang appears behind him, calling his name. He turns to her and explains that Miss Luo has been spreading rumors about her, and he's making her apologize. Miss Luo interjects, saying it's true that Gu Mang scored 0 and was expelled from her previous school. Seeing Miss Shi enter, Miss Luo demands she control her students, complaining that their academic performance is one thing, but their disruptive behavior is embarrassing. Miss Shi agrees, shocking Lu Yang. He asks if she has forgotten how Miss Luo bullied her in the office. He says he wanted to use this opportunity to teach Miss Luo a lesson. Miss Luo slams the table in anger, questioning if this is the kind of student Miss Shi has trained to speak insolently to a teacher. Miss Shi orders Lu Yang and Gu Mang to leave the office. Miss Luo smirks, crossing her arms, taunting them for not listening to their teacher. Lu Yang, beyond annoyed, calls her an old witch and raises his hand to attack, but Gu Mang stops him. She tells him it's better to leave now. She pulls him away and he relents, saying he's only leaving for her sake. But he warns Miss Luo that if she talks nonsense again, he won't let her off so easily. As they walk out, Miss Luo sneers, saying low-grade students will always be just that, not only poor in studies, but also morally corrupt. She mocks them for dragging down the school's admission rates and acting like they're important. Gu Mang hears everything but doesn't seem to care. After they leave, Miss Shi turns to Miss Luo, stating that academics and character are separate things. She explains that not wanting to study and not being good at it aren't the same. She insists that her students are smart and good kids, warning Miss Luo to be mindful of her words as a teacher. Miss Luo, unfazed, asks if Miss Shi is suggesting that her students would all be geniuses if they wanted to study. She then proposes a bet. The lowest scoring student in her class, one last week, got 643 on the weekly test. With the monthly test coming up, if one student from Miss Shi's class can surpass that score, she will apologize to Gu Mang and the entire class. She turns to Lu Yang, still standing outside the door, challenging him to take the bet for his class. He clenches his fist, realizing she's clearly mocking them, targeting their weakness: studying. Miss Luo laughs, saying Miss Shi doesn't even have confidence in her own students. She taunts that Class 20 is full of underachievers with no right to be making noise. Miss Shi remains silent, her expression dark. Gu Mang, who has been quiet until now, suddenly sighs and steps up from the wall she's been leaning against. She stands at the door and accepts the challenge. Miss Shi is surprised, calling her name in disbelief. Later that day, news of the challenge spreads. Students gossip, wondering if Class 20 has lost their minds, setting up a competition based on grades. They laugh, saying Gu Mang must be all looks and no brains, and that her classmates must resent her now. Meanwhile, Mr. Fu calls Mr. Lu to discuss the situation. He mentions that the entire school is buzzing about the bet and asks for his opinion. Since Mr. Lu was the one who placed Gu Mang in this school, Mr. Fu worries about her facing unnecessary trouble. But Mr. Lu remains calm, telling him not to worry. Gu Mang will handle it herself. Curious, Mr. Fu asks if Gu Mang's academic records were falsified. Mr. Lu simply states that in recent years, City Ming High School has been outperformed by the experimental high school. Then he suggests that perhaps Mr. Fu should look forward to it. City Ming High School is about to return to its former glory. After the call, Mr. Fu leans back, deep in thought. For Mr. Lu to speak with such confidence, he wonders, who exactly is Gu Mang? In Class 20, the students voice their dissatisfaction about the competition, claiming it's impossible to win. Lu Yang stands up, urging them to fight for their pride instead of steaming buns. He asks if they are really content with being looked down upon, and states that they must love studying. One of the classmates, Yao, plays with a notebook and mockingly declares his love for studying, then begins composing a song about it, causing the class to burst into laughter. A girl comments that he really has talent. Lu Yang watches helplessly as they remain unconcerned and unaffected by the competition. Our girl, holding a pen and a notebook, only smiles faintly, not giving much thought to the class's actions. Lu Yang walks over, assuming she is reliable as always and has started studying seriously. His thoughts are cut short when he realizes she isn't studying but drawing. He decides he better get some tutoring from Lu Yi. He sits beside her while Qian turns to ask why he protects her so much. Crossing his arms, Lu Yang proudly replies that he has seen her report card and knows she is consistently last in the grade. He adds that the throne for last place is definitely going to change hands, and as a senior, he will look out for her. Qian thinks that if he had known this would make Lu Yang submit, he would have done it a long time ago. After the school bell, Lu Yang and Qian leave the class. Meanwhile, some girls discuss the bet. One of them says that the wager against Class 1 has spread across the school forum, and 99.9% of people are betting on Class 1 to win. Another girl, Li Meng, comments that it's the truth. Our girl agreed to the bet, and no one in class is footing the bill for her. Her seatmate, Juan, who has been listening from afar, reminds them that Miss Luo maligned their entire class, so this isn't just our girl's issue. Another girl adds that Miss Shi has been so good to them, yet she's always bullied by Miss Luo because of their poor grades. She insists they should retaliate against Miss Luo. The girl who blamed our girl earlier only huffs, crossing her arms, unaffected. At the back of the class, Gu Mang sits as her roommate. Meng Jinyang joins her. She tells our girl that she checked last week's papers and noticed her score is still slightly behind the last place in Class 1. Unfazed, our girl asks if the test is that hard. Jinyang explains that it isn't much different from the private tutoring our girl arranged for her before. But every school has different exam difficulties. If only she had access to the paper and review materials from Chengzhou High School, which are top-level practice nationwide. She sighs, lamenting that their materials aren't allowed to be shared. Deciding there's no other option, she gets back to studying since there are only 3 days left. Our girl smiles lightly, thinking that they are just review materials. It's not impossible to get them. Later that night in her dorm, our girl is busy on her laptop while wearing headphones. In the group chat, one member comments that he hasn't seen her in over a year and asks what she's up to. She replies that she is studying and preparing for college exams. The group members are dumbfounded. One jokes that if she's taking college exams, he might as well hang himself with a mouse cord. Gu Mang smiles, knowing she's only telling the truth, yet they don't believe her. At that moment, she decides to log into Chengzhou High School's databank to retrieve the review materials. Meanwhile, Jinyang tells her to stop playing on the computer because she's turning off the lights for bedtime. Our girl tells her to go ahead. Jinyang reminds her that from tomorrow until the end of the monthly exams, she must switch seats from Lu Yang to sit with her. Our girl agrees. The next day in class, our girl sits with Jinyang and hands her some questions, asking her to solve the circled ones. Jinyang agrees, but soon realizes they are too difficult for her. Later, she returns to find a paper on the table. Checking it, she discovers it's filled with detailed answers and solutions to the questions she found hard. She is impressed yet confused about who wrote them. Seeing our girl sleeping with her head on the table, she is left wondering. Time passes, and the day of the monthly test arrives. 2 teachers enter class 20, Miss Luo and another teacher. Lu Yang is furious, recognizing that the proctor was supposed to be the head teacher from class 9. He can't understand why the old witch, as he always calls Miss Luo, is here. Qian is also surprised and whispers that they're doomed because there's no chance of cheating now. Miss Luo stands before the class with her arms crossed, addressing them smugly. She warns them not to even think about cheating, threatening that if anyone does, she'll make sure their record is more impressive than it already is. As the students pass the test papers around, our girl remains unfazed. She stares at the paper, playing with her pen. Meanwhile, Jinyang concentrates on her test, exhaling as she reassures herself that our girl helped her highlight key points and practice different types of questions. She suddenly beams, recognizing familiar question types. Though the questions aren't identical, the solving methods are similar. She is amazed at how accurately our girl predicted the test content. After the school bell rings, signaling the end of the exams, our girl and Yin-Yang leave the classroom together. Yin-Yang, excitedly talking about the questions on the exam, looks at our girl for confirmation, but our girl gestures subtly for her to stop, not wanting to discuss it. Yin-Yang glances at her, wondering why she doesn't want to talk about it, but says nothing. They walk in silence for a moment, the air between them slightly awkward, when suddenly Lu Yang storms up beside them, clearly upset. He rants loudly, frustrated about how closely old lady Lu had been watching during the exam. He admits he didn't even dare to pull out his cheat sheet, showing them the small note he had tucked into his uniform jacket. Our girl raises an eyebrow at him, but doesn't comment, simply turning to Yin-Yang and telling her to go ahead and have lunch. She explains that she needs to find Miss Shi to ask for leave so she can go buy something. Lu Yang overhears this and immediately chimes in, expressing his desire to tag along and also take some time off. They agree, and together they leave the school grounds. Later, the trio arrives at Starlight Plaza Station, casually dressed for the outing. Our girl wears a simple black top paired with white pants, and as they approach the entrance to the store, Lu Yang, who is still walking beside her, asks what she plans to buy. With a slight lick of her lips, our girl reveals that she's after some snacks. Her pink tongue darts out momentarily before retracting, and for a split second, Lu Yang is stunned, his face reddening as he raises his hand to his mouth in surprise. Inside the store, after picking out some burgers, Lu Yang asks if there's anything else she wants to get. She tells him they also need to pick up 2 cups of milk tea. Just as they're discussing their next move, a familiar voice interrupts them, teasing them about looking like a couple. Lu Yang freezes, his face flushed with embarrassment, and quickly tries to explain that they're just out buying a few things. He also asks what the other person is doing here. Standing there, the male lead has his hands casually tucked into his pockets, wearing a white shirt, and looking at them with a bemused expression. Our girl doesn't acknowledge him at all. She simply adjusts the brim of her cap and walks past him toward the milk tea counter, not sparing him a glance. The male lead watches her walk away, feeling a mix of annoyance and curiosity. In his mind, he wonders how she can be so cold, not even bothering to greet them. After a brief pause, he follows her without saying a word. Lu Yang, wanting to stay close to our girl, tries to follow her, but Qin Fang steps in his path, pulling him back and telling him to stay put. Lu Yang is puzzled and asks why he can't go with Gu Mang. Qin Fang smirks, offering no explanation, leaving Lu Yang to wonder what's going on. Our girl reaches the drink counter, ordering a mango milk tea with extra sugar and one with less sugar. At the same time, the male lead appears behind her, ordering the same drink with extra sugar. He tells the seller that he'll pay for both their drinks. Our girl, slightly surprised but keeping her composure, thanks him as the drinks are prepared. The seller, noticing the two of them together, smiles and comments that they look like a scene from an idol drama. Our girl remains unfazed, and they both take their drinks before heading out. As they walk back, the male lead suggests they go have dinner together at Sky Realm, but our girl declines, explaining that she only requested leave for the first session of evening self-study, so she has to return to school. He then offers to drive her back, but she turns him down again. She wonders what he's truly trying to do and decides she can't afford to interact with him too much. Any further involvement could lead to the risk of exposing her identity. The male lead doesn't push the matter, letting the silence hang between them. Standing at the bus station, the male lead casually drapes an arm over Lu Yang's shoulder and asks why he didn't easy. Lu Yang, not wanting to make things worse, quickly tells him to forget what he just said, brushing it off as a needless concern. As they board the bus, Lu Yang feels a little uncomfortable, sensing that the male lead might be looking down on him. The male lead sips his milk tea, casting a casual glance at our girl, who sits by the window. He thinks to himself that she looks even sweeter than usual, her calm demeanor adding to her mysterious aura. Meanwhile, the group of guys sitting behind him can't help but laugh, teasing him about how he rushed over to Starlight Plaza when he heard Gu Mang was there. They jokingly remark that something about the situation just doesn't seem right, and the male lead's behavior has them all intrigued. The next day at school, some students were eagerly discussing the exams from the previous day. They mentioned hearing that the results would be out this morning, and they were amazed at how efficient everything seemed. They wondered aloud whether the top student would be Lu Yi from Class 1 or Gu Yin, but they were certain it wouldn't be anyone from Class 20. Qian, looking anxious, turned to Lu Yang and asked what they should do. He lamented that their class was really going to lose face this time. Lu Yang sighed in agreement, clearly resigned to the situation. Meanwhile, our girl raised her head from her desk and, with a calm demeanor, told them that the top student was in their class, so they should keep it down and stop disturbing her sleep. Lu Yang gave her a helpless look as she laid back to sleep. He couldn't help but wonder if she was some kind of hidden big shot, thinking about how confident she sounded. However, he soon grew confused, realizing that the exam results were supposed to be released this morning, yet morning reading time was almost over, and there was still no news. Meanwhile, in the staff office, Miss Lu slammed the exam results onto the table. Her voice sharp and full of authority as she declared that the monthly exam results were voided. She demanded the expulsion of Meng Jinyang and Shen Juan, accusing them of cheating. She also suggested that Miss Shi should take responsibility, claiming she helped the students cheat. Miss Shi, standing her ground, replied that Miss Lu should speak with evidence. She argued that her students had earned their grades through their own abilities and asked why they should be expelled. Miss Lu stood firm, stating that the exam paper had been extremely difficult. Even Lu Yi and Gu Yin from Class 1 couldn't solve the last big question, yet Meng Jinyang had answered everything correctly. She pointed out that Shen Huan, who had ranked almost at the bottom last week, had somehow made a drastic leap into the top 157. She asked how anyone could believe this was possible. The principal then interjected, addressing Miss Shi. He casually explained that the bet was just Miss Lu joking with the students to motivate them to study harder, and there was no need for Miss Shi to resort to dishonest means to win. He then informed Miss Shi that Meng Jinyang and Shen Huan were to be expelled and must leave the school immediately, knocking on the table as he made the announcement. Miss Shi couldn't sit still any longer. She stood up and tried to clear the air, explaining that if they had looked at the students' exam papers, they would see how their answers differed from the standard answers. She repeated that her students hadn't cheated. "There are some things I don't want to say too harshly, Miss Shi," the principal said, his voice dripping with sarcasm. "You've been a teacher for 3 years, and even for college entrance exams, which province would see an exam paper like Meng Jinyang's? Apart from losing 7 points on the Chinese essay, she scored perfectly everywhere else. If that's not cheating, what else could it be?" Miss Lu, clearly pleased with the situation, came up with a suggestion. She proposed that if Miss Shi had so much faith in her students, they could retake the test using this week's weekly exam papers, which hadn't been graded yet. She added that if there was a big discrepancy between their grades and this month's test, then Miss Shi and her 2 students would have to leave the school as well. She smirked, clearly enjoying the challenge. Miss Shi, unfazed, agreed to the retake, but added that if the students passed the retake without any issues, everyone present would have to apologize to them. Later, Miss Shi stood in the corridor, busy with her phone, when our girl approached her. Miss Shi asked why she had left her class. Our girl replied that they were retaking the test inside. Miss Shi reassured her, telling her not to worry, as she was confident that Jinyang didn't cheat and that Class 20 had this in the bag. Our girl only smiled, but said nothing, knowing full well that the teachers who had proposed the retake would end up fooling themselves. Soon the tests were over, and both Jinyang and Shenhuan exited the classroom, their expressions showing that the retake had gone well. Miss Lu, on the other hand, looked utterly shocked and disbelieving as she stared at their answer sheets. Jinyang proudly announced her scores: 150 in maths, 150 in English, and 294 in science. Shenhuan's scores were just as impressive. Our girl, proud of them, gave them a gentle pat on the cheek, noting how impressive they were. Jinyang asked if they should go back to class now, but our girl shook her head, telling her it wasn't over yet. She glanced towards the classroom and then asked Miss Shi if she was right. Miss Shi nodded and acknowledged that they weren't done yet. She walked into the class, asking if any of the teachers present had something to say, now that the results were out. The principal was the first to speak up, admitting that he was wrong and apologizing for the earlier accusations. He hoped this incident wouldn't have a lasting effect. Miss Shi turned to Miss Lu, who still sat silently, staring at the test papers in disbelief. Lu Yang, clearly eager to make a point, spoke up, saying that nowadays anyone could become a teacher and casually accuse students of cheating. He asked if the grade 12 first place was only reserved for Class 1. He wondered aloud if, after so many years of teaching, Miss Lu didn't even know how to apologize properly. Miss Lu, infuriated, stood up, her face red with anger, and ordered him to shut up. But Lu Yang wasn't backing down. He demanded an apology. Shenhuan suddenly spoke up, saying that the rumors had started in Class 1, where they insulted and defamed Gu Mang's reputation as a girl. She also pointed out that it was Miss Lu who had proposed the bet, and they had won. She made it clear that Miss Lu should accept the loss gracefully. Our girl, quietly observing, thought that bringing Shen Huan to the school had been the right choice. Shen Huan had actually stood up for her. With gritted teeth, Miss Lu reluctantly apologized to our girl. Our girl, however, didn't care about the apology and simply ignored her. Outside the office, our girl wrapped her arms around Miss Shi, thanking her and acknowledging that it must have been tough for her. Miss Shi put on a stern face, warning our girl that if she thought this situation was tough, she'd better not score a 0 in chemistry next time. Our girl simply responded with a simple, "Okay." At the school cafeteria, Lu Yang, still visibly upset, grumbled that a simple "sorry" seemed far too lenient for Miss Lu's behavior. Our girl, however, mentioned that having grade 12 first place in Class 1 was enough. Lu Yang smiled with admiration, remarking that if Jinyang kept coming in first place, Miss Lu would definitely go mad. Just then, our girl heard a familiar voice behind her calling her sister. She turned around to find the girl who had spoken, noting that it had been a long time since they last saw each other. Lu Yang was shocked as he asked our girl if she's really sisters with Gu Yin. Gu Yin immediately replied, confirming that they are indeed sisters. Our girl gave them an inexplicable look, placed her food down, stood up, and grabbed her tray. She casually mentioned that she was full and off. Gu Yin tried calling after her, but our girl acted as if she didn't hear, walking away without acknowledging her. Gu Yin quickly caught up, asking how she had found Meng Jinyang, mentioning that she had been missing for over 10 years, and despite everything that had happened, she was able to attend school normally. She expressed that it was simply wonderful. Our girl scanned Gu Yin with a cold, piercing look that could freeze anyone in place. The look was enough to make someone's skin crawl. She then told Gu Yin to watch her mouth, her voice calm but carrying a dangerous undertone. Gu Yin stiffened, feeling a chill run through her. Our girl walked off leisurely, leaving Gu Yin standing there, silent and visibly angry, her face turning purple with fury. Later, as night fell, some students in self-study discussed how their class had managed to avoid being at the bottom for the monthly exam scores. They also mentioned the upcoming parents-teacher conference on Saturday and expressed gratitude for the 3 people who had helped them. Meanwhile, our girl, walking toward the school gates, was on the phone with Uncle Lu. He informed her that the matriarch of the Lu family was critically ill again and asked for one more favor. He explained that he was in Donghai City preparing to board a plane and had arranged for Lu Chengzhou to pick her up. With her hand in her pocket, our girl replied that she had already seen him. She left the school gates, wearing a baseball cap and carrying a black bag. A black SUV was parked nearby, almost hidden in the shadows. Lu Chengzhou stood under a cold street lamp, leaning against the car with a cigarette between his fingers. The smoke swirled around him as he leaned back, his brown jacket adding to the cold aura around him. When our girl approached, he snubbed the cigarette and stood up straight. As she reached him, he apologized for troubling her again, then opened the car door, inviting her in. Once inside, our girl sat back and closed her eyes for a moment. A slight frown formed on her face as she silently grumbled about the complexities of the Lu family. She really didn't want to get involved in their issues, but as a doctor, her instincts wouldn't allow her to abandon a patient. She sighed inwardly, knowing she couldn't ignore it. Noticing her discomfort, Lu Chengzhou smiled, thinking maybe she needed cheering up. He opened the storage box in front of him, retrieved a box of chocolates, and placed them on her lap. They were black and white with zodiac designs, each one meticulously crafted. She immediately recognized them. A limited edition from a luxury brand, worth 37,000 yuan a box. She thought to herself, what a rich guy. There was no need to be so generous. She grabbed one and took a bite as he explained that his grandmother had been doing better a few days ago, but her condition had worsened suddenly that night, causing her to pass out. Without hesitation, our girl suggested that he question Lu Shiwei. Understanding her meaning, he asked if she was implying that they hadn't followed the prescription she left. Our girl nodded, her face smirking. She turned away and thought to herself, doctors should never be complacent. Lu Wei's claim of being the most authoritative neurologist didn't convince her. At the Lu family mansion, tension filled the air. A doctor frantically told Lu Wei that an operation was necessary, or the lady wouldn't survive. Lu Wei was also in a panic, frantically flipping through medical books, suggesting they wait longer to find a better way. But she knew that after an operation, the chances of survival were slim. She had seen what Gu Mang had done before and believed she could perform the same miracle. Doubt, saying she wasn't confident this time, began to examine the old lady's purse. The male lead, noticing the slight discomfort in her expression, asked what was wrong. She explained that they needed to operate on the old lady and asked if he knew Yu Zhongjin, the top expert in neurology. He acknowledged knowing him and asked if she was looking for him. Our girl explained that she needed his help because Lu Wei wasn't qualified enough. She brought out her silver needle, ready to work, but told him that she could only delay the situation for a short time. He needed to bring Yu Zhongjin here as soon as possible. Without hesitation, he took out his phone and made a call, instructing the person on the other end to bring Yu Zhongjin to the Lu family residence immediately. The next morning at the Lu family mansion, there was some commotion. Yu Zhongjing, an elderly man in his 50s with a messy beard, was dragged from some secret lab by the bodyguards. His unkempt appearance matched his agitated state as he loudly complained about being brought there. He kept shouting about being taken from his important experiment and how the Lu family must be kidnappers. His voice filled the air as he was carried to the old grandmother's room, continuing to protest. He demanded that they put him down, claiming to be capable of walking, and complained about his bones hurting. However, when he noticed Gu Mang standing in the room, his rant stopped abruptly. His eyes widened as he saw her, and he immediately addressed her as Master, though his voice trailed off when he saw her sharp gaze. He fell silent, avoiding eye contact with her. Lu Chengzhou ordered the bodyguards to leave the room, and Yu Zhongjing, now feeling a nervous tremor, dared not look at Gu Mang again. His attention quickly shifted to the old grandmother, whose condition caused him to gasp. He noted that the last time he had visited, her condition was not this bad, and he quickly rushed to her side. After examining her, he muttered that the prescription he had given her, which was Chinese medicine, would have cured her, but someone had used Western medicine instead, damaging her qi and causing her condition to worsen. Gu Mang calmly confirmed what he had said, picking up the X-ray images and medical data to examine them. After about 3 minutes of scrutiny, Yu Zhongjing sighed and stated that a craniotomy was the only option. However, given her advanced age, the operation would be risky, with only a 50% chance of success. Lu Chengzhou asked Gu Mang how confident she was in the procedure. Without hesitation, she responded that she was 60% confident, not sugarcoating her abilities. Turning to Yu Zhongjing, Lu Chengzhou politely requested that he assist Gu Mang with the surgery. Yu Zhongjing, clearly offended, balked at the idea. He expressed his disbelief that the leading brain expert like himself would have to assist a young girl. He raised his voice, indignantly pointing at Lu Chengzhou, questioning his decision and accusing him of disrespect. However, Lu Chengzhou remained composed and offered a deal. He promised to invest 50 million yuan in the project Yu Zhongjing was working on. The offer immediately caught Yu Zhongjing's attention. His expression shifted from anger to amusement as he agreed without hesitation, noting how generous the male lead was. Yu Zhongjing quickly made arrangements to have the operating room prepared, and Lu Chengzhou left to handle other matters. After he was gone, Gu Mang couldn't help but comment on how well Yu Zhongjing had acted, gaining 50 million yuan with ease. Yu Zhongjing smiled proudly, adjusting his mustache and grinning at the deal. But as the conversation shifted back to the old lady's condition, his smile faded, and his expression became more serious. He asked if it was Lu Shiwei who had caused the complications. Gu Mang raised an eyebrow, asking casually if he was talking about his good student. Yu Zhongjing sighed, explaining that Lu Shiwei had come under his tutelage because of her high scores, but he never expected her to be ill-intentioned. He lamented his misfortune. Despite this, Yu Zhongjing turned his focus to the current situation, emphasizing the difficulty of the surgery. He expressed concerns about the old lady's age and how, if something went wrong, it would offend the entire Lu family. He added that the Yu family had forbidden him from intervening, but if it weren't for Lu Chengzhou's insistence, he wouldn't have come at all. As the servant wheeled the old lady toward the operating room, Gu Mang turned to Yu Zhongjing and firmly told him to keep the old lady alive. He acknowledged the instruction, his expression serious. Hours passed, and the operation continued. Outside the operating theater, Lu Chengzhou leaned against the wall, holding a cigarette in his hand but not lighting it. He remained calm, waiting for any updates. Meanwhile, Lu Zhan returned from the army, his sharp eyes scanning the Lu residence as he walked toward the operating theater. He asked how his mother was doing, and the fourth son informed him that the surgery was still ongoing, with Yu Zhongjing in charge. Lu Zhan was surprised and asked who had brought him there. The fourth son explained that Chengzhou had arranged for his people to bring Yu Zhongjing by force. Lu Zhan seemed to approve, stating that they should have done it sooner. When Lu Zhan approached his son, Lu Chengzhou, he asked how long the old lady had been in surgery. Lu Chengzhou replied that it had been 2 hours. Lu Zhan then commented that the craniotomy wouldn't have been necessary if it weren't for Lu Wei's actions. He advised that they must keep this information from the old lady to prevent her from being shocked, and that Lu Wei should be taught a lesson so that she would never forget this mistake. Lu Chengzhou quietly agreed, his mind clearly focused on the matter at hand. The night had fallen, and the clear moon illuminated the Lu residence. The air was humid, and the operating theater's door finally opened. Gu Mang emerged, looking pale, her eyes bloodshot and tired from the long surgery. Lu Chengzhou immediately approached her, his voice soft with concern as he asked about the outcome. Gu Mang said nothing at first, her eyes downcast as she removed her surgical gown. Yu Zhongjing, looking equally exhausted, spoke up, saying the blood clot had been mostly removed, and now they just needed to make a prescription for aftercare. He also reminded them to follow it this time. Lu Zhan stepped forward, expressing his gratitude to Yu Zhongjing. Yu Zhongjing waved off the thanks, demanding his payment in cold, hard cash instead. Just then, Lu Chengzhou approached Gu Mang with a thermos flask. He opened it and handed it to her, offering her favorite caramel-flavored drink, extra sugar, just the way she liked it. Gu Mang glanced at him, her usual coldness softened just slightly. She accepted the flask, her voice hoarse as she thanked him. Lu Chengzhou, still looking out for her, suggested she take a rest in his room. Gu Mang took a sip of milk tea, her lips stained slightly with tea. She licked it off with her tongue and hummed softly in approval. Lu Chengzhou watched her quietly, his gaze following her as she moved toward the door. Turning to his father, he spoke calmly. He would take her somewhere to rest. Lu Zhan nodded, giving a simple response as he watched them leave. Yu Zhongjing, however, was irritated, muttering to himself about the disparity in treatment. He wanted hot milk tea, too, and some rest. Lu Yi approached him with a polite reminder. He mentioned that there was something else that required his attention. Yu Zhongjing paused for a moment before asking what he had forgotten. Lu Yi reminded him of Miss Shiwei. Yu Zhongjing's face lit up with realization. He asked where she was, and Lu Yi informed him that she was locked up in the basement, guarded and isolated. Down in the basement, Lu Wei was bound and silent, her cries ignored by the cold, empty air. The door creaked open, and Lu Wei's gaze snapped up, hoping for rescue. When she saw who entered, she called out, her voice filled with hope. It was her teacher. She asked if her grandmother was safe now that he was here. Yu Zhongjing stood with his hands behind his back, observing the trussed-up Lu Wei. He then asked her to recall the first rule she had learned when coming under his mentorship. He asked her to repeat it. Lu Wei froze, her expression changing as she stammered through the rule, her voice full of guilt. He then questioned whether she had followed the rules, and her heart began to race. She looked aggrieved, trying to deny any wrongdoing. She asked if Gu Mang had told him lies. Yu Zhongjing's tone became cold as he realized how unrepentant she still was. He coldly informed her that she was no longer his student and that it was up to her to figure things out from there. Her expression turned from shock to panic. She pleaded for another chance, but Yu Zhongjing had already made up his mind. Lu Wei struggled against her restraints, her voice breaking as she begged him to reconsider, but Yu Zhongjing simply turned and left, his figure disappearing through the door. Lu Yi stood at the door, watching silently. He reminded Lu Wei that this was a small punishment, and that if she were discreet in the future, she might still have a place in the Lu family. Back at Lu Chengzhou's villa, Gu Mang had fallen asleep on the sofa. The space was large and well-furnished, a study, a bedroom, and a living room giving it an air of luxury. Lu Chengzhou, noticing her restlessness, gestured toward the bed, suggesting she rest there. But Gu Mang declined, stating she would sleep on the sofa and just wanted to be informed when the grandmother woke up. Lu Chengzhou didn't push her and instead retrieved a blanket from the wardrobe, offering it to her. He mentioned it was new. Gu Mang accepted it, settling into the sofa. She took off her cap, laid down, and covered herself with the blanket, her eyes closing. Lu Chengzhou watched her movements, a faint smirk appearing on his lips. The fluidity and grace of her actions were something to admire. Meanwhile, Lu Yi entered the room but hesitated when he noticed Lu Chengzhou's gaze on Gu Mang. He intended to leave quietly, but was caught when Lu Chengzhou turned his attention toward him. The young master stood, walking toward him before gently closing the door behind them. In a respectful tone, Lu Yi informed him that Miss Shiwei had been dealt with, officially dropped her as his student. Lu Chengzhou's eyes darkened slightly, and he instructed that Lu Shiwei was not to come near the grandmother again. Lu Yi acknowledged the order, and after a moment, Lu Chengzhou requested something sweet be prepared in the kitchen. Lu Yi, puzzled by the request, nodded quietly, leaving to carry out his instructions. Later, Gu Mang slowly woke up, sitting up with a slight shift in her position. The blanket slipped from her body and she rubbed her eyes. Realizing she had been moved to the bed, she knew it was Lu Chengzhou's doing. She glanced around and noticed him sitting in a chair with his eyes closed, unsure if he was asleep or not. She slipped out of the bed, her movements quiet as she walked toward the balcony. Once there, she leaned against the glass railing and took out her phone, starting a round of a game. Her long hair cascaded loosely down her back, and her posture gave off a relaxed yet distant vibe, looking like someone who wasn't disturbed by just waking up. She appeared cool and composed, almost ethereal. Lu Chengzhou, still watching her from the chair, couldn't help but feel captivated by her. His thoughts briefly wandered to the time when he had learned that she and Lu Yang had gone to the mall. He had briefly thought they might be on a date, but now, seeing Gu Mang in this light, it seemed like she viewed Lu Yang more as an overgrown child than a brother. Suddenly, Gu Mang's gaze lifted, her eyes briefly meeting his. His gaze froze for a moment as she asked, in a voice as casual as ever, if working for the Lu family didn't come with a meal. The male lead smiled, his amusement clear as he stood up from the bed. His posture was straight, and his gaze remained soft yet teasing as he looked at Gu Mang. He suggested that they go out for dinner, wanting to make sure she ate well. They went to a restaurant and enjoyed a quiet meal. As they were finishing, Lu Yi arrived from the courtyard with the news that the old grandmother had finally woken up. The three of them headed over to see her. Gu Mang began by taking the grandmother's pulse, and then she worked with silver needles, her hands moving with expertise and confidence. Yu Zhongjing, who had been watching her from a distance, could hardly take his eyes off her. Every time he watched her perform acupuncture, he felt as though he was witnessing something extraordinary. Though he lacked the experience to practice acupuncture himself, he wished he could somehow capture her skill and study it. He observed intently, clearly impressed. Gu Mang worked with a slight frown on her face, and Lu Chengzhou noticed. He observed her closely, his gaze not leaving her for a moment. About an hour later, Gu Mang carefully removed the silver needles from the grandmother's body. She stood up, her movements smooth and deliberate, and spoke calmly, telling them that the old lady would be completely awake by the evening. However, she warned them to avoid upsetting her emotions and to ensure that she stuck to the prescribed diet. Lu Chengzhou, his attention still fixed on Gu Mang, turned to look at the grandmother. His voice was heavy with concern as he asked how much longer she might have to live. Gu Mang remained silent for a moment as she considered the question. She watched the grandmother carefully, assessing her condition before responding. She told him that with proper care, the grandmother could have another 3 to 5 years, though it was also possible that her health could decline at any time. She then took out a small piece of paper from her bag and began to write out a prescription. Her words were calm as she explained that, though she was a skilled doctor, she was not a miracle worker. Medical knowledge could extend lives, but it could not guarantee them. She could only try to prevent the inevitable. Lu Chengzhou looked serious, absorbing her words as he stood silently for a moment. After a while, he asked her what steps they needed to take to care for the grandmother. Gu Mang handed him the prescription with a fluid motion, her fingers brushing against his. There was a brief pause, and they locked eyes for a second before she gave him a sly, almost mischievous smile. She told him that her consultation fee was the sleeping jade. The sleeping jade, though a valuable artifact, wasn't useful for the grandmother's condition. It seemed like a waste for Chengzhou to hold on to it, and Gu Mang didn't hesitate to ask for it. After a moment of thought, Chengzhou ordered Lu Yi to retrieve the jade. He returned shortly with the artifact in hand and handed it to Gu Mang. She caught it with an ease that made it look effortless, tossing it in the air a couple of times before catching it and slipping it into her pocket. With the transaction done, Gu Mang casually thanked him, saying she would head back to Ming City now. Before leaving, she added that she was about to begin studying for her university entrance exams and didn't want to be disturbed. If anything urgent came up, she instructed them to consult with Yu Zhongjing. Yu Zhongjing, resigned to her request, didn't argue. Lu Chengzhou, though still puzzled by her attitude toward studying, offered to have Lu Yi take her back. However, Gu Mang declined. She casually walked toward the door, saying she had some matters to attend to. As she left, Lu Chengzhou couldn't help but smirk as he watched her retreating figure, a thought crossing his mind about how unpredictable she was. The next day, Gu Mang returned to school, looking exhausted as she rubbed her eyes. When she entered the classroom, Jin Yang's face brightened at the sight of her. She moved to her seat, clearly ready, almost indifferent response. She said she would tell little Shi that they wouldn't be attending the meeting. Jin Yang, slightly concerned, informed her that Miss Shi had already made arrangements for the Year 3 motivational assembly on Saturday, where both parents and students were supposed to sign in. It would reflect poorly on them if no one showed up, especially since Jin Yang was the first student to go on stage. After considering the situation for a moment, Gu Mang lazily agreed to take care of it. She stood up from her cushion, much to Jin Yang's surprise. She assured her friend that she would handle it. Jin Yang, still unsure of how Gu Mang intended to solve the problem, asked if she planned to hire someone for the role. Gu Mang simply mentioned an old friend who owed her a favor and would be willing to help out. She immediately pulled out her phone, opened her WeChat, and typed a message to Jiang Shenyuan. "Lawyer Jiang, I have a parent-teacher meeting this weekend. Please help out." Jin Yang, still confused but trusting her, could only watch as Gu Mang took charge of the situation. It was clear to her that whatever Gu Mang decided to do, it would be done in her own unique way. A day earlier, Gu Mang had gone to meet Jiang Shenyuan at his law firm in the capital. She casually walked in, dropped her bag on the sofa, sat down, and crossed her legs. Without much thought, she took out her phone. After a whole day without checking it, the screen was filled with notifications. As she scrolled through them, a man walked toward her in a suit and glasses. This was Jiang Shenyuan, the most prestigious lawyer in the capital. As he approached, he greeted her and asked how she had been, along with why she had come to the capital without letting him know first. Gu Mang put down her phone, her eyes meeting his. She responded in a relaxed tone that it was about Jin Yang. Upon hearing this, Shenyuan's expression changed, becoming more serious. He immediately sat down and asked what had happened to Jin Yang. Gu Mang, without hesitation, explained that the person who had hurt Jin Yang would soon be released from prison, and she needed him to file an appeal again. Shenyuan's tense expression softened, and he appeared relieved that there was no immediate danger. Still, he remained serious and assured her that he understood. He then mentioned that a recent change in the law could benefit them and promised that he would handle it. Gu Mang, however, seemed distracted as she absent-mindedly picked up a cup of tea and asked about the person who had harmed Jin Yang. Shenyuan casually responded that after Gu Mang had taken care of him, the man entered prison weighing 180 jin, but came out weighing only 100 jin. He was barely skin and bones. His spirit was broken. And he had learned his lesson. Gu Mang smiled coldly, satisfied with the outcome. Shenyuan, setting down his coffee cup, asked her what she had been doing lately. She replied nonchalantly that she had been studying and preparing for the university entrance exams. He was surprised, unsure why she would bother with the exams. He offered to arrange for her to go directly to the best law school in the country if that was what she wanted. But Gu Mang responded simply, saying she was doing it for Jin Yang. She stood up to leave and reminded him that he didn't need to worry about her exams. She just wanted him to make sure the appeal was handled properly. She also mentioned that she had a flight back to school. The next day, at school, Gu Mang called Jin Yang to let her know that Jiang Shenyuan had agreed to attend the parent-teacher conference on their behalf. Jin Yang, who was on her way from Xi'an's staff room, was surprised by how quickly everything had been arranged. She asked if lawyer Jiang would attend for both of them, and Gu Mang confirmed it. She also reminded Jin Yang that she wouldn't be back that night and to take care of herself. If anyone tried to bully her, to let her know. When Gu Mang hung up, she bumped into Gu Yin and several girls from Class 1. Gu Yin smiled at Jin Yang, greeting her after a long time. Jin Yang gave a faint smile in return, acknowledging her with a soft greeting. Gu Yin then looked Jin Yang over with a subtle, assessing glance. She said that she hadn't expected to see her again, thinking after everything that had happened, she wouldn't get the chance. Gu Yin asked if Jin Yang was feeling better now. These words caught Jin Yang off guard, and her expression immediately paled. One of the girls from Class 1 asked if something was wrong, noticing the change in Jin Yang's face. Jin Yang clenched her hands, her body trembling. Gu Yin paused, studying Jin Yang's reaction, and then casually continued, saying they used to live in the same neighborhood before she and her sister transferred to the school. The others quickly lost interest in the details of her personal life. It was widely known by now that Gu Mang and Gu Yin were sisters. One of the girls, curious and sly, asked, wondering out loud, if Gu Yin and her sister were really biological siblings, considering the huge difference in their academic performances. She asked if their parents had ever done a DNA test. Gu Yin smiled tightly and quickly brushed it off, saying it was just that her sister didn't like studying. Another girl laughed mockingly and commented that Gu Mang's academic ranking had already been the lowest. It didn't matter whether or not she liked studying. Jin Yang watched them talk about Gu Mang with an expression of discomfort. She couldn't understand why they were speaking so harshly about someone they didn't even know. One of the girls suddenly shifted the conversation to Jin Yang, saying that, since she was the highest scorer in their year, she should transfer to their class and not let Gu Mang influence her. Jin Yang, biting her lip, stood there silently, unsure of how to respond. She didn't want to engage with them any longer, so she excused herself, her face pale, and walked around them, heading upstairs. Gu Yin's eyes glinted with something dark, and she suddenly swayed as if she had lost her balance, grabbing Jin Yang by the waist as she fell. Jin Yang, caught off guard, reached out to steady herself, but Gu Yin fell onto the stairs. Looking up at Jin Yang, she gave a soft, almost apologetic smile. She apologized for losing her balance and then added with a small smirk, asking if she had touched Jin Yang's ostomy bag in the process. Jin Yang's face went completely white as she heard those words, and the flower pot she had been holding dropped to the floor. Her body froze in fear, and in a flash she ran upstairs as though trying to escape. The other girls were confused and asked Gu Yin what she meant by ostomy bag, but Gu Yin quickly changed the subject, suggesting they go get something to eat. Meanwhile, Jin Yang found herself in the teacher's bathroom, where she could be alone. She squatted down, clutching her head as tears streamed down her face. Her skin was pale, and her eyes were red with distress. Memories of years ago came rushing back, the moment when a man had dragged her into a blind alley. She shook, her whole body trembling as she wrapped her arms tightly around herself. She fought to keep herself from sobbing, biting her lips to hold back the tears. Just then, her phone buzzed, and she looked at the message from Gu Mang. Gu Mang had gone to a convenience store and bought her some warm milk, leaving it on her desk. Jin Yang quickly typed a reply, telling her that she would be back soon. She wiped her eyes with the back of her hand, stood up, and went to the sink to wash her face. Staring at herself in the mirror, she adjusted her expression. She didn't want Gu Mang to see her in this state, to know about what Gu Yin had said. She didn't want to drag her sister into her problems again. Lu Yang and Qian were shopping at the supermarket when they unexpectedly ran into Gu Yin and her group. Lu Yang, holding 2 snacks, was trying to decide which one would be better for Gu Mang. Qian, knowing her preference for sweet things, suggested he pick the sweetest one. As Lu Yang focused on his decision, a girl from Gu Yin's group, Ruan Qingqing, became flustered. Her face turned red and a strange gleam appeared in her eyes. It was clear she had developed a crush on Lu Yang. As Ruan Qingqing watched Lu Yang, her feelings of jealousy grew. The more she saw him focusing on Gu Mang, the more it seemed like he might be getting closer to her. Ruan Qingqing couldn't help but wonder if Lu Yang was starting to like Gu Mang. She felt a pang of frustration and disappointment, wondering if she had lost her chance with him. Gu Yin, noticing Ruan Qingqing's discomfort, smirked inwardly. She could see the opportunity unfolding before her. Ruan Qingqing had feelings for Lu Yang, and she realized she could use this to her advantage. Gu Yin casually remarked about her sister's beauty, noting how popular she had always been, and how it was no surprise that Lu Yang treated her well. Hearing this, Ruan Qingqing's expression turned sour. Gu Yin continued with a hint of regret, talking about her sister's academic struggles and how she had once been involved in a serious fight. She suggested that the Lu family might not approve of them because of her sister's reputation. The remark was meant to plant doubt in Ruan Qingqing's mind. Ruan Qingqing's frown deepened as she processed the information. She realized that if Lu Yang found out about Gu Mang's troubled past, he would likely turn away from her. As Gu Yin finished speaking, she smiled slyly to herself, knowing that her words had planted seeds of doubt. She was confident that soon Gu Mang's reputation would crumble, and everything would fall into place. Later that evening, Gu Mang was on the phone with lawyer Jiang while walking alongside Jin Yang. She reminded Jin Yang about the parent-teacher conference the next day and mentioned they would discuss it over dinner. After hanging up, Gu Mang explained that lawyer Jiang was already in Mingchen and they would meet him at Tianxia residence. Jin Yang asked if it was just lawyer Jiang they were meeting, but before Gu Mang could answer, they noticed Lu Chengzhou waving at them. As they got closer, he told Gu Mang that Uncle Shangjin wanted to invite them to dinner at Tianxia residence. Gu Mang, already having plans for the evening, said it was a coincidence that dinner was also at Tianxia residence, and asked if they could go together. Lu Chengzhou agreed. Just then, Lu Yang appeared, eager to join them for dinner. Lu Chengzhou frowned slightly and mentioned that the car was already full. But Lu Yang, undeterred, reassured him that he would take a taxi. With a sigh, Lu Chengzhou opened the car door for Gu Mang to get in. At Tianxia residence, Uncle Shangjin greeted them warmly and invited them inside. Lawyer Jiang stood to greet Gu Mang and Jin Yang. Lu Chengzhou pulled out a chair for Gu Mang, who looked at him curiously, wondering what he was up to. After she sat down, he pushed a piece of cake toward her. The others in the room, including Qin Fang, watched in silence, taken aback by Lu Chengzhou's attention toward Gu Mang. Could it be that he was interested in her? The atmosphere grew tense as everyone exchanged uncertain glances. Meanwhile, Lu Yang, already digging into his food, commented on how good the meal was. His light-hearted remark was interrupted when Qin Fang jokingly congratulated him on improving his grades. The teasing made Lu Yang choke on his food, and he began coughing uncontrollably. To lighten the mood, Uncle Shangjin added that Lu Yang was probably still the lowest-ranked student and joked about him being at the bottom. The atmosphere turned awkward, but Gu Mang, not one to shy away, declared herself as the bottom-ranked student, saying it wasn't a big deal. Uncle Shangjin quickly dropped the subject, not wanting to press the issue any further. Lawyer Jiang, sensing the discomfort, smiled and commented that it made sense now why Gu Mang had asked him to cover for her and Jin Yang at the parent-teacher conference. One of them ranked first, and the other ranked last. There was quite a gap between them. The remark took everyone by surprise, especially Lu Chengzhou, who looked displeased, but then turned to Gu Mang with a smile. He placed a piece of food on her plate and casually mentioned that it would be troublesome for one person to attend the parent-teacher conference for two. But, as luck would have it, he was free tomorrow. The others at the table were struck by this statement, realizing what he was implying. Gu Mang raised an eyebrow and asked if he wanted to attend the conference. Lu Chengzhou, with a small smile, turned the question back on her, asking if she wanted him to. If you're eager for the next chapter, drop a comment expressing your interest in a part 3. Don't forget to subscribe and ensure to hit the notification bell to stay updated. Until next time.